Money. It's like a scene straight out of the cable television show Weeds.
Jackpot.
Much like the fictional character Nancy Botwin, ABC News has learned 45-year-old Andrea Sanderlin, now accused of running a multi-million-dollar marijuana operation, also kept thousands of dollars of cash in her home. In fact, according to court records, her nanny says while Sanderlin was being arrested outside this undercover grow house in Queens, Sanderlin's boyfriend called and told the nanny to gather as much cash as she could from Sanderlin's closet. She managed to collect about $8,000 before being stopped by police.
You're drug dealing mommy? Tell her I expect 10 grand on the first of every month.
And that sprawling Scarsdale mansion, ABC News has learned Sanderlin moved in about 6 months ago and pays between $11,000 and $12,000 a month in rent, all in cash. It's an expense authorities say she could afford. Her alleged grow house in Queens contained about 3,000 pot plants worth an estimated $3 million. And agents say she may have tried to grow marijuana at 2 other New York City warehouses as well. All 3 locations had exorbitantly high electricity bills, consistent with growing weed, and all in Sanderlin's name.
I still can't believe what really happened here.
And while many neighbors express shock, not everyone thinks Sanderlin's alleged crimes are so bad.
She has an entrepreneurial spirit, and I think it's great that she's a single mom, and that's how she's supporting her kids.
Unfortunately for Sanderlin, the feds don't quite agree. She remains.
And I think it's great that she's a single mom, and that's how she's supporting her kids.
Unfortunately for Sanderlin, the feds don't quite agree. She remains in jail this morning, and if convicted, faces at least 10
neighborhood of
years
Scarsdale, New York, lined with multi-million-dollar homes, is reeling from the news that one of its own has allegedly been leading a shocking double life.
A little scary. You wouldn't expect it in this kind of community.
Authorities say Andrea Sanderlin is your average soccer mom who's been concealing a big secret.
It's more aromatic than American.
An alleged real-life Nancy Botwin, the marijuana-dealing mom played by Mary Louise Parker on the show Weeds. According to a newly released criminal complaint, the 45-year-old mother of 2 was running a sophisticated multi-million-dollar marijuana ring, turned into the DEA by a confidential witness who identified Sanderlin as Andy and noted she drives a Mercedes SUV.
She has the ideal cover. She's probably, by most people's definition, they think she's law-abiding. And in reality, her total life basically is a sham.
Sanderlin's alleged home base is this warehouse in an industrial neighborhood about 25 miles from her house. Inside, nearly 3,000 marijuana plants, worth an estimated $3 million. Anthony Flores lives across the street from the warehouse. He says he met Sanderlin and a man she was with several times, but no mention of that grow operation.
They said they were doing some type of baby furniture. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. She was a very attractive young lady. I didn't think anything of it.
Arrested late last month, Sanderlin's pleaded not guilty, but this morning remains in jail.
And this morning, almost everything about Sanderlin seems to be a mystery still. Even her ex-husband doesn't keep photos of her. What we do know, if convicted, she could face up to 10 years.
A polite suburban mom of 3 was actually living a double life as a drug dealer, operating a multi-million-dollar illegal enterprise.
Yeah, you're scary. You're the scary lady drug dealer with thugs.
That's me. Go get the money.
Think the show Weeds about a soccer mom turned drug kingpin is far-fetched? Think again. Andrea Sanderlin is a 45-year-old mother, equestrian, and resident of the affluent Westchester County town of Scarsdale, New York. Federal prosecutors also say she's the head of a massive marijuana ring. A criminal complaint filed in federal court charges that Sanderlin, along with others, did knowingly and intentionally conspire to manufacture, distribute, and possess with intent to distribute 1,000 or more marijuana plants.
These charges are really serious. She's facing a Schedule I federal felony, which is a minimum of 10 years to life.
Federal agents followed Sanderlin multiple times to this warehouse in Queens, which allegedly housed thousands of marijuana plants with a street value of over $3 million. The massive warehouse, which Sanderlin confirmed to DEA agents was hers, drew suspicion over its high electric bills, as high as $9,000 a month, always paid in cash.
One of the main differences between state court and federal court is that when you get a federal court sentence, you're required to do 80% of that term.
Thug means never having to say you're sorry.
An affluent suburban lifestyle that could go up in smoke.
Now, Sanderlin's lawyer says she is a full-time mother who has never broken the law. Sanderlin could face a minimum of 10 years if convicted of felony narcotics trafficking. Got to explain that electric bill, right?
Let me say, we have a senior producer on the show. Let's call her Debbie K, who lives in Scarsdale and says the town is flabbergasted by this story.
She's wealthy New York City. Exactly. But this morning she's in jail, charged with running a multi-million-dollar drug business. Gail?
Police say that they caught Sanderlin at a marijuana warehouse in Queens, New York, and people who know her are amazed.
Blew my mind, especially knowing her, like interacting with her day to day. So once in a while we would catch some smell, but you know, it was, we just thought it was the neighborhood kids.
It does have a very distinct odor, I'm told. When police entered the warehouse, I've heard, when police entered the warehouse, they found thousands of pot plants growing inside. You know, there's that show on Showtime, actually, called Weeds, which is looks sort of like that.
It's also Breaking Bad.
It's Breaking Bad.